guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabella, and also happy release week to A Strangled Heart. This video is one of the release week videos, and I'm not sure when this is going out because I'm pre-filming everything except for the release day vlog. But if it's out before the 18th of June, then this book is coming out tomorrow. But if it's after, which I believe is the more correct kind of timeline, then you can go grab this from any retailer of your choice. And if you do happen to read it, I would be so grateful if you left a review, because reviews help authors so much. But today's video is going to be a little get ready with me. In other words, just like we're going to be chatting while I get ready, and we're going to be chatting about the songs I wrote for A Strangled Heart, both songs in the book and also songs that helped inspire the book and the plot and storyline. I know there's like many different ways people prefer to get ready. I prefer to brush my hair and like do my hair before my skincare, and I know some people prefer the other way around, but that's just my personal preference. So while I do my hair, we're going to start talking about the songs in this book, and half of these aren't actually songs that I actually wrote. They're more just like potential. Basically today I'm not really bothered with doing anything in my hair, so I'm literally just gonna brush it out. And also I'm so sorry if it looks really frizzy. It just gets like that every single day, and I've been trying to make it less frizzy. It just has not been going so well. So the first song I believe in the book is going to say, I couldn't hold you without the fear of losing, the only thing I craved, more than life you meant to me, no one else was you, Aria. And that's from the perspective of Modulation, and Modulation and Aria are the nicknames of our boy and girl. And obviously I didn't give them real names because I feel like in poetry that's like a very weird thing to do, or like see in general. So of course I gave them nicknames, and they're both musical terms, so if you're interested you can definitely go search it up. But it definitely fits their character and like their character motivations and storylines, so that's all I'm going to tell you. But basically from Modulation's perspective, this is one of his love songs that he wrote for Aria. Now the thing is, this song I actually put in quite last minute. It was more like a plot device really for me rather than anything else. So I didn't really write this to music. I kind of just like brainstormed it and hoped that it would sound nice, and I just threw it in. So that's that. Not much else really to say. Another random song I kind of threw in just to enhance the plot and also to really show you Modulation's character. I feel like it's kind of interesting to see the contradictions of his character, especially considering the songs he wrote versus like his dialogue that you read. So it was kind of fun to like get into that headspace. But oh my goodness, I don't know why. So when I was younger, I've always hated writing love songs. I always found it a little difficult, or just any song that was kind of happy in some way. And this was no different. Like, it was a challenge trying to get through it. Anyway, so basically the next little song you're gonna see is gonna say, my melody, the only song my heart sang without a tone. Your pink lips hid the anger when I didn't wish you good night. How could I have been so blind? But now I do anything and everything to make my melody right. And I did not know where I kind of got the idea. I was just like thinking about like melodies in general because I want to make it a bit more musical. And by musical I mean like the motif like a little bit more prominent, because at that point I felt like the snake metaphor had kind of taken over. So I needed to add a bit more musical elements inside. Also, I just realized how long my hair actually is when I'm doing this. I haven't had it straight in like a really long time because I keep putting it up and it keeps kind of curling itself back into like the natural waves I have. So seeing it straight is kind of weird, and like it's so long, and I low-key want to cut it, but I just can't be bothered to cut it. So anyhow, but yep, this is another random little song verse chorus thingy. I think it's a verse, I believe, that I just randomly wrote because why not? And the next one you're actually going to see is from Aria, and it's kind of cool because I didn't actually anticipate to write any for Aria, but my beta readers all told me that they would love to see some from the perspective of Aria. So I was like, you know what, let's just give it a go. And that is basically what is next. So Aria's one is a little bit longer, and it says, hide away you said, I wish you kept the promise you made. You fed me lies again and again, acting like the hard truths were non-existent to us. Love, such a cruel word. Hope, an innocent blossom. Destruction, the end to all. Your eyes, mine, smile, I couldn't read them to know what you were thinking. Your songs, lyrics, disguises. I burnt them and breathed in the ashes of the spark in the graveyard of an untold love. And I felt like for this one, there wasn't really any music when I was thinking of when I was writing. I was just thinking more of the poetic kind of side, because Aria, to me, she has like a very poetic kind of way in like her tone and the way she wants to like portray herself to the world. So I felt like just making it sound really poetic was kind of like the vibe for her music. So that is why we kind of went with that, and it's also more for the plot rather than like anything else, and it really just develops and shows what kind of relationship they had. So if those intrigue you, maybe consider picking this book up. But we're gonna move on now to the next song that Aria wrote, and this one I actually did write to music, and I don't have any keyboard with me right now, so we're just gonna like read it out. And basically this is like towards the end of the book. So it says, midnight wasn't coming, let's try not to complicate it. I didn't need a cricket at my door. Selfishly, the clicking of your claws, probably too hard to admit. You couldn't let go of old ways to move on. And as you can probably tell, this is like her trying to tell him to go away in a bit of a nice way. It definitely just shows more of like a progression of their relationship rather than anything. And the final song is also from Aria's perspective, but I really hate this song. I did try writing it to music, so it was my least favorite. If you read the book, you're gonna know. It is a major part of the plot, and like while I don't mind the actual song that I wrote for it, I just don't like it personally. Like, it's not my favorite that I've written. It is still pretty like essential to the plot and like character development and like showing their personalities in general, but like it's not my favorite. And whenever people ask me what like kind of songs I wrote for this, I never ever gravitate towards this one because I hate it, and sometimes I forget it's in the book. Those are all the songs in the book, so let's move on to the 3 songs. So if you've watched the only writing vlog I've actually ever posted about this book, then you will know that A Strangled Heart was based on a song that I wrote, and this song I literally did not anticipate on writing. It just kind of happened. And I think I also wrote in the the acknowledgements. In the acknowledgements, the first paragraph you're going to see is, I never imagined that composing one song would lead to this poetry collection. Basically, this book came from one song idea that I had. And essentially, I didn't even plan on writing the song. All I did was like experiment with a key I never ever play in. And I think I talked about it a little bit in my video of the writing vlog, but I'm not so sure. If you want to know a little bit more on the backstory of this book, then I suggest you go and watch the writing vlog. I will also link it down below. Let's start with the main song that kind of brought up this entire idea. And by the way, we're going to start with the skincare now. So the first thing I use is my Mecca Max toner. So the first song that I wrote, which is also the song that inspired this entire poetry collection, and every time I talk about it to someone, I feel so weird because I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote a song and it turned into this book. It's not the natural flow of things. Kind of calling it Snake, it's really not creative, to be honest, because I didn't know what else to call it, so we just went with Snake. And essentially that song is basically encapsulating the entire plot and storyline, and I did pull a lot of things from the song into the book. So I don't know how this is going to go, because originally I envisioned this video to be me playing the songs for you, but like since I don't have a keyboard with me, I had to pivot my idea. So I'm gonna sing you a verse. Actually, I did post a TikTok with the song, so maybe we'll go with that. But essentially, this song was like the entire starting point and base of this book, and I really liked the song. It did take a bit of experimenting because I had never ever like, you know, done this song before. I never played in this key, and it was a bit hard at first. And since I don't really play instruments, it was not the most easiest process. So while the toner is drying, or the working title of Snake goes like this. You called my phone up again last night. I don't think I would have cried if you kept it at the last time. Your questions pierced underneath my skin. The scales poisoned everything. Why did I let you in after saying goodbye? Now your voice is stuck on repeat, asking me memories I don't wanna breathe. Now your voice is stuck on repeat, asking me memories I don't wanna breathe. How could you just build me up again, intoxicating pieces I kept away hidden? Your toxic venom is gonna settle in, strangling my heart is all you ever did. And of course there's more to the song, but like there's a lot of like things I can't really say because I don't want to spoil the whole book, but I feel like that's a pretty good starting point. So now that the tone is basically dry, I've been experimenting with this plum facial serum thingy, which has, I don't even know how to pronounce it, it's like niacinamide and hyaluronic acid and plum extract. I don't really like the smell of plum, so when I first started using this, I wasn't really a fan. That song was kind of an interesting experience. I did have a lot of fun writing it. I did enjoy it, and I feel like out of all the songs I've written, that was like one of my most experimental at the time, and it was so fun, and it was really enjoyable, and I really liked the process of writing it, and it did help kind of with my creative block that I was experiencing at the time too. At the time when I was writing that song, I really needed it, and I'm really thankful that I did write it, because if I didn't, then this book would have never been written, and it's one of my favorite stories I've ever written. So let's move on to the next song that I wrote, and we're gonna wait for the serum to dry. The next song I'm calling for now Your Flaws, and I think this might be the last song in the potential album. I'm now gonna apply this little moisturizer, and I know it's technically formalized for babies, but like this works really well for my skin, so I'm just going to go with it. And it's the Aveeno brand, and it's just a daily moisture lotion with natural colloidal oatmeal. Basically song 2, or the last song I'm envisioning for this potential album that I probably will never ever release, is called Your Flaws, and essentially it was written more in the sense of I need a closure from the actual writing process of this book, not for any other reason. And what better way to find closure than to write a song, because that's how this entire process started. So basically with this book, I actually wanted to do a release with the book and a song coming out, but obviously I don't have the musical talent to do it, and I don't know much about music production, so I couldn't really envision that to life. So maybe one day I will release the album, but right as of now I don't feel comfortable enough to figure it out on my own. And by the way, the next thing I'm using is this sunscreen. It's by the same brand as this serum, which is the Kmart brand, and basically in Australia Kmart and Target use the same manufacturer, so I suppose it's also the Target brand. SPF 50 sunscreen, ultra protection, pretty standard stuff, nothing really interesting. And I just apply this on my face, neck, and a little bit on my ears, because apparently ears are like really sensitive, and I never realized that. Okay, so while the sunscreen is kind of like settling into my skin, let's quickly run through the song. So I didn't really know where I was going to go with this song, so I kind of made it a bit experimental again, because it just felt like the vibe of this book and this entire song in general. So this is how Your Flaws kind of goes. Fell for you even though I shouldn't have. Called it love just to hide what it really was. Suspicions flooded my mind. Why did I give you my time? Told myself that this was a real love. Told myself life's nothing like a fairy tale. Saw red flags and ignored all possibilities of your flaws. Wish I never met you. Could've saved myself from a heartbreak that you can't fake and say you never caused. But let's face it, you're wrong. Pretending like nothing's wrong. Deep down I knew it was perfectly twisted lies that became a song. And I can't keep fighting for a love that wasn't real and pretending that it was to you. The last step of my skincare routine is to use this vitamin C and hyaluronic acid facial mist. Oopsies. And basically I just spray this all over my face and a little bit on my neck. Let's talk about the last song, which I have a love-hate relationship with because I feel like it's kind of undeveloped right now, so I want to keep working on it. But since my keyboard literally sucks all the batteries life out of them, I have to keep buying new batteries, and like I just can't be bothered to keep buying new batteries, so I've kind of like taken a break away from music for now. What we're really going to talk about with the third song is A, it doesn't have a name, and B, I was kind of just experimenting with chords, and then I kind of just resorted to my like basic C key, and it was just like A minor, F, and C major, and I'm like, okay, you know what, we're just gonna go basic with this, and it kind of works. But I'm also not gonna sing the song for you because like I don't like it that much. But yeah, so final thing I do in my routine is use this MCO Beauty lip oil, and it's in the scent Birthday Cake. There's probably gonna be some songs that I can envision in this album, but like I haven't worked on them since I need the break from writing songs in general. But I have really enjoyed writing songs 1 and 2. It was super fun, and I literally cannot wait to write the rest of the songs. Also stay tuned for the songwriting TikToks because I did write the third song for a TikTok video, and I don't know if it's coming out on the 15th or the 16th, but it's one of those days. Those videos would have already been out, so you can already go view them on my TikTok. And yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little weird get ready with me while we talk about the songs I wrote for this book. I don't really know what my outro is anymore. I kind of forgot. I haven't filmed in a really long time. But basically, if you do want to grab a copy of A Strangled Heart, or if the song's aspect interests you, I would really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching this video. And happy release week, and I'll see you hopefully with another video soon. Anyway, until then, stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!